And welcome to episode 52 of the GrowCast Show. It's been a while, I know you missed me, but yes, I'm back for this episode. So today with me, I have Bernice, and she is the founder of Bright Culture Tuition Center, and she's also known as the Education Innovator. Bernice, how are you feeling today?
Awesome.
Very nice. And Bernice, I always like to start off with these questions. That's the standard of the GrowCast Show, which is, what does being better than normal mean to you?
So being better than normal is like to be the best version of yourself, but not just about yourself, but in this journey of being yourself, you impact others and you change the lives of others, make it better for them. So it brings happiness to yourself and others.
That's very nicely said. And maybe if I could ask you, Bernice, what makes you better than normal?
What makes me better than normal is that I believe a lot in education. I feel that education is something that it cannot be replaced with AI. The ability to break down concepts such that people understand is not simple. But I really enjoyed the process of like explaining to people. I always enjoy like people asking questions because that's when people are curious about what you're providing. So that's why I call myself the Education Innovator, because I believe that I need to keep on educating people, but also changing how education is to empower others. Yeah, so that makes me better than normal.
And of course, we'll definitely talk a little bit about AI later on. But I want to go a little bit back to your origin story and how you got started. So maybe if I could ask, what made you want to become a teacher when you were still young? Yeah.
Oh, when I was young, I had a lot of difficulty learning. I'm that kind of like, you can call me Miss Wise. I will ask from all the way from A to Z. Of course, that caused my teachers to be irritated with me. My friends will be like, why am I like so irritating, asking so many questions? So that's when I told myself that when I grow up, I will want to be a teacher so that I can actually brighten the lives of others. Because I went through how difficult it is in terms of learning. The gap from my lower sec years to my upper sec years was very huge. My upper sec years to my A-level years was even greater. Yeah, then A-levels to uni was the worst. Yeah, so that's when I realized that I really want to be that person for people because I couldn't find it when I was young. Yeah, hence that's why I wanted to be a teacher. Yeah.
And was chemistry always your favorite subject in school?
I would say it's the easiest subject out of all the subjects that I was having so much difficulty with. So it's not that it was my favorite, but I find it very interesting because I can link from the first topic, what I learned from the first topic, all the way to the very end. So I like it when things can flow because that's when you can remember things easier. And stories itself makes people more interested in the subject itself. And it makes logical sense actually for that subject. Yeah.
Unfortunately for me, chemistry never made any sense. And that's why I had to drop it when I was about to do my JC times. So I wish I had someone like you to teach me. But I know you were teaching in schools for a while as well, right? So after 10 years teaching in schools, how did that help you when you created your own teaching methodology?
Okay, so when I was teaching in school, I focused a lot on like how students think. What's the reason that they cannot do well? I always ask students like, maybe you can share with me, what are you thinking about now? So they will share with me, or through marking, intensive marking. That's when I realized that, as teachers, we always deliver things like A, but actually students really don't need A, but they need you to tell them why B is wrong. Yeah, but I think a lot of teachers will be more, it will be nicer if we are less authoritative towards students also, and also understand what they are thinking. Then after that, guide them through actually what they are thinking is wrong, and then after that, tell them what then is right. Yeah, because often we want people to adopt our mindset, but have we put ourselves in their shoes to understand what caused them to misunderstand or have a misconception? So I focus a lot on that, and so now it's very fulfilling to like, when I see a question, I can tell students, I know what you're thinking. Let me tell you what you're thinking. Then I'll say from what they're thinking. Then they will be very amazed. Oh, Miss Bernice, you actually know what I'm thinking. So they feel that you understand them, and they'll be more open to listen to what you have to explain with them. Yeah, so that's what I focus a lot on. Yeah, when I was teaching in school.
Makes perfect sense. And why do parents call you the Education Innovator?
So I create like the products that you see over here that makes learning much easier and faster. I don't believe in making your own notes because that really take up too much of their time. So every time students come to the center, they will ask, can I buy the books or not? I always tell them the books are not for sale. The reason is because I can give you a fishing rod, but if you do not know how to fish, the rod will be useless. Yeah, so that's when I will have to really really guide them through. And I like it that I'm very thankful to my designers. They are so good that it's very, very colorful. So it makes their life very happy when they look at the books. Now, the books aside, so after that, they will focus a lot on practicing. Yeah, so practicing questions. So to me, that's why Education Innovator, because it's a different way of studying. We are reverse engineer from the back. That means we do not go from the front, like you need to know this concept and therefore that's how you do well or you understand the concepts. But we give them what they need, but they learn to map and then they learn to apply. Yeah, from the questions that will certainly come out that are exposed to them. Yeah.
Makes sense. And you said that the books are not for sale. So how does someone get access to the amazing workbooks and guidebooks and formula books that you have?
Okay, so that's when they really have to attend our lessons, go through the whole learning experience. The learning experience does not also come from the book, but really have an experience with the teachers at Bright Culture. One thing that I'm very thankful is all our teachers are very invested in the growth of every single student that walk past our doors, and my staff also. When we actually asked the students what do they really enjoy about Bright Culture, it was really the whole experience, not just from teachers, but all the staff at Bright Culture. Yeah.
Nice. And I know you mentioned when we were talking the other day that if somebody comes for the free trial for your Bright Culture free trial that you have, do they get access to the book? So maybe what I'm trying to say is when somebody comes for the free trial session at Bright Culture, do they get access to the books that you share with them?
Yeah. So they will get access to the books. They will get to use the books. They see how the books can help them to make learning easier and faster. Often students come to us, then they open the book, they'll be like, wow, this is amazing. Yeah, then after that, they go through the whole learning experience, they realize that actually chemistry is really very simple.
Because I hated taking notes, and that's why I said that, yeah, the books having a framework there already helps a lot. And for yourself, maybe if I could go back a little bit, what made you decide to step out of your comfort zone and step into entrepreneurship?
Because I believe that life is all about learning and growing. I find that life is very boring if I don't grow. Yeah, so I decided to step out of my comfort zone into a different world called entrepreneurship. Never in my life I have taken any business related modules related to entrepreneurship, but I feel that that's the way to grow. And of course, I have my own goals that I want to fulfill. And that is that I really want to impact more people. To impact more people, 1 million people that I'm talking about, I definitely have to step out of my comfort zone, go into entrepreneurship, learn more about how to be the better version of myself and how to develop a system for others to be the best version of themselves. Yeah.
Very nice. And what is the USP of Bright Culture for both lower and upper sec and A-level chemistry?
Okay, so our USP is actually we teach using a storytelling method. We link all the way from the first chapter all the way to the very last chapter that they learn for lower sec science, for upper sec chemistry, and for A-level chemistry. Why do we use storytelling? Because if you can remember since young, if you have stories, you certainly can remember all the stories that you have when you were young. Yeah, all the naughty stories that you have with your teachers or your parents. Yeah, so stories to me are cells. Facts tell, stories sell. Yeah, so that's when y'all can, all the students can remember things better. And from the first chapter to the last chapter is also the nature of learning chemistry. If you actually do not know a single topic well, you will realize that you can't do well in the rest of the topics. Yeah, so that's why storytelling. Yeah.
And how did you come up with the storytelling method?
Okay, how did I come up with it was because I find that students had a lot of difficulty learning. I wanted to find out or to go and develop a very unique teaching pedagogy that can make learning easier. So through the years of teaching, that's when I realized that actually when I teach one concept, I can keep on linking to many different concepts. So that's how I started to make a lot of mind maps, make a lot of linkage between the different things that I'm teaching. And eventually, that's how the USP is being created, which is the storytelling method of Bright Culture.
So the storytelling method, is it something that's applicable only to chemistry, or would you say it's applicable to all subjects in school?
Okay, that's a very good question actually. Actually, recently my student told me that they went to use the storytelling method and our question analysis method for other subjects. And they realized that, wow, it works amazingly well for them. And they hope that I can come up with a champion formula for other subjects also, so that they can actually use the method of our teaching pedagogy on other subjects, and that makes their learning faster and easier.
And what is Bernice, I know all your books, they've got the Champions Formula, right? So what is the Champions Formula, or why are the books titled the Champions Formula?
Okay, why are the books titled the Champion Formula? Because I wanted students to be the champion that they want to be. It doesn't need to be in chemistry, but it can be the other kind of champion that they are looking for in their life. For example, they want to be maybe a pharmacist, they want to be a vet. That is a champion in its own. Yeah, so that's why it's named after Champion Formula. Yeah.
Very nice. And I think it's very motivating as well when you look at it, right? It reminds you of the power that you have.
Yeah.
So the title makes sense. But as much as people want to be a champion, I also know that parents and students alike, they don't have much like for chemistry. So why do students and parents both hate chemistry so much?
Because one topic, not doing well in one topic, really will cause them not doing well in the rest of the topics. So they realize that if they want to fix, for example, acid, bases, and salts, they can't fix it, which is the most difficult topic. Yeah, they can't fix it because they are so bad at chemical formula. Yeah, they don't understand things right from the start. So they try to fix acid, bases, and salts and realize that since they also cannot fix it because chemical formula writing is a problem. So they give up everything altogether because I cannot fix chapter 8. Therefore I cannot progress really. But if you look at other science, for example, okay, let's take physics, for example. If I cannot do well in light, a chapter of what students always find difficulty in, they can do well in other topics like electricity because they are basically not very much linked together, but not so much for chemistry. So in bio context, they have men. They teach about transport in men, digestion in men. But if let's say I don't do well in men, I can do well in plants, transport in plants, digestion, chapters related to plants. Yeah, but chemistry is impossible. Yeah, so that is why they really hate chemistry. Yeah, because there are so many obstacles to cross, I would say. Yeah.
Okay, now I don't feel so bad after all. And why are some students stuck at C6 to F9 despite reading all the school notes and practicing all the 10-year series in both O-level and A-level chemistry?
Because they are focusing on the wrong thing. Yeah. You see, when you want to make a change, you need to you really be able to focus on what is the problem over here. The problem over here is that they don't even know what is important. They read page 1 to page 10, for example, but they don't know what is important. They try to digest everything. After that, they look at the question, they also don't know what is the question asking about. So the part about the book is a very structured one. It teaches students how to think. If you look at the question, how do you link it to any parts of the book? And because the book itself has a structure, then they will look at, okay, if I look at this part of the book, that is actually where the answer is. So they practice this mapping part and eventually they know how to do it on themselves. Yeah, for any single type of questions.
And why are some students stuck at C6 to F9 despite reading school notes and practicing the question bank given by their school in lower sec?
Okay, for lower sec science, actually is very straightforward. There are some formula lists they need to know, some common concepts that are always tested, and then some answering techniques that they need to know. But the problem is the breadth of lower sec science is quite huge. They need to cover physics, bio, and chemistry, 3 sciences in total. So it needs to be very concise, quickly delivered to them. And after that, they just focus on really practicing the correct questions. Now, when we talk about questions, there are also the correct questions to practice and the not so correct one to practice. The one that don't get you success to anywhere. So to be honest, we have been very laser focused on practicing just the correct questions. And one victory and one winning part of that I really felt very strongly about is students will come back after their exams and tell me that, Miss Bernice, the question that you taught me appeared for the exam. Yeah, and that gave them a lot of confidence because they saw the question before. But I'm not saying that we are spotting question over here. But the thing is that we teach students, they are exposed to something before, and then after that, they gain the confidence to be able to handle that under exam stress. Yeah.
Perfect. And a lot of people say that in A-level, chemistry is the hardest subject to score. Is this true?
Okay, this is true to a certain extent because actually if you look at the organic chemistry syllabus, it takes up to around 60 to 70% of it. And the problem is that the organic chemistry syllabus is linked right from the start of the chapter to the very end. It's very tough to do well for A-level chemistry if you just practice. There's no way you can practice one question that is one topic. Yeah, so that is why it's the hardest. If you don't do well in one, one chapter, you cannot do well in the other. Yeah, so you can try to go and find questions that only test one topic, but it's impossible, to be honest. Yeah, so that's what makes A-level chemistry very tough. Then how do we make it easier? We make a lot of mind maps. We make a lot of shortcuts to teach students how to study. Thereafter, they focus on practicing and applying what they have learned. Yeah.
And do you need to have a good memory to score well in science and especially chemistry?
No. Actually, as long as it makes logical sense. Parents did share with me before, they always thought that chemistry was something a very memory-based subject. Then after that, I told them, no, come to Bright Culture, you will know why. So that's when after that, they shared with me that actually they are doing so much better from chemistry as compared to the other subjects. Reason, because it makes logical sense. Same thing, storytelling makes logical sense. So when they can link from the first topic all the way to the last topic, everything makes sense to them, they will be able to accelerate their learning and then score.
And what do students scoring A1 and A2 do differently from those that don't do well?
Yeah, they really focus a lot on practicing the correct questions. But in order to be able to progress to practice the correct questions and know the answering techniques, the foundation and the concepts are very strong. Imagine you look at one question and you get stuck, right? You get stuck at that one question you don't even want to do already. After that, you want to give up. Yeah, so their concepts are very strong because of the champion formula. After that, they just spend all their time practicing, revising the answering techniques that I taught them. And of course, my one question analysis technique that will help them to tackle every single question.
Very nice. And what is the easiest paper to score in chemistry during O level?
Okay, the easiest paper to score is actually practical. But that is also the paper that many students find very tough. Yeah, actually practical, there are ways to know or to predict what kind of questions will come up. Yeah, the reason because there are only that few chemicals that can be tested. Yeah, and then after that, there's only that few answering techniques that they are looking for. But it's actually the first paper that is being tested for O level. So a lot of students get a lot of jitters from it. And imagine you are heating a Bunsen burner and the whole environment is so quiet. And then all the breakage, or if any of the breakage of the glasswares, or king, all those of the glassware. So that makes them very, very nervous. Yeah, so the exam stress adds on to the paper. But to be honest, the concept that are tested in the paper is very easy to score. They just need to be calm and composed. But how do I make a student calm and composed? They must have confidence when they step into the exam hall. And that differentiates students that are doing well and not doing well. Because imagine your first paper, you already gain all the confidence. How would you feel about your paper 2, your paper 1? You'll be like, wow, I'm raring to go. I will do well because I did well for my previous paper. Confidence is something that we actually neglect a lot, and it affects our mental preparation for the next part of the paper. Yeah.
I totally agree 100%. But why is it so? Why do students find the chemistry practical so hard to score?
Because they don't have a consolidated book to help them. Their notes, their papers are all over the place. Whenever I ask them, so what kind of practicals that you practice? They will be lost. Yeah, so that is one. Second, they go in thinking that it's just a hands-on practical. I do some things here, I make some things here, I will be fine. But actually, there are really ways to think when there's a question that is presented to you. There is ways to write. Yeah. Then there are ways to guess what kind of questions will come out. Yeah. So that are the parts that we always work on to make our students confident for exams. Yeah.
And is it common that chemistry practical makes students drop 1 to 2 grades?
Yes, it's very, very common. And that is really the aspect that students neglect. They thought that they always can settle the concepts, memorize, and then do well in their MCQ papers. They are pretty much fine. After that, they get back their papers, they realize that how come I'm still not getting the grades that I want? The practical actually put them down, which often they neglect because of what I shared, because they just go in thinking that I'll just perform the practical as it is. But actually, they neglect the whole studying of that paper. And also, they don't know how to prepare for it. Yeah, which is something very common among our young kids. Yeah.
And can students really conquer all questions using your special one question technique analysis? Or maybe if I could ask that again, can students really conquer all questions using your special one question analysis technique?
Yes, it can be conquered. So my one question analysis technique, I call it the CKTL, Cheeky Cola Ticker Lion. Yeah, so this technique actually can conquer all chemistry questions, but students did share with me, they apply it to all other subjects and it actually helped them also. So yes, the answer is yes.
Very nice. And what are the Bibles of chemistry that students must know?
Yeah, the Bibles of chemistry first, chemical formula writing. There are some chemical formula that students must know. I'll teach them the acronym. It's called ONOPOSO-COLA. Yeah, so that is one. Second, solubility table. They need to go and remember what substances are soluble, what substances are not. Third, the colors of the metals, the colors of the compounds, in which we have everything in our books. They just have to know them. Save it as their wallpaper because colors of chemistry is actually quite pretty. They save it as their wallpaper and they can remember them step by step. Yeah, so these are the 3 Bibles of chemistry.
And what is the 6-step system to tackle mole concept questions?
Okay. So the first step is to write a balanced chemical equation. Second step, then find the number of moles of known using the 7 mole concept formulas. After that, use the mole ratio of known to unknown. Thereafter, you may need to find limiting reactant if required. After that, find the number of moles of unknown. Then find the required quantity given in the question. Yeah.
Very nice. And what can parents and students expect from coming to Bright Culture's free trial class?
So they can expect few things. First, we will diagnose what is the problem. I think it's very important for our students or parents to know what is the problem first. They often come to us saying that they don't know what is wrong. They just know that it's very tough to score for chemistry. So we will diagnose the problem for them. We'll tell them where exactly is wrong. Second, they will be able to get access to our champion formula books. See how is it so easy for them to actually map the questions, the exam questions. Third, they get exposure to the type of exam questions that will certainly come up for exams. Fourth, they know how to analyze any questions that they face. Of course, fifth, they taste success.
Very nice. And why are you conducting a free trial for parents and students?
Okay, a free trial class is really because I think it's important to also understand the needs of our parents and students. I do want to make sure that we can solve the problem that they have and we understand their needs first. Yeah, so that's one. Second, we let them experience the learning experience of how is it like in Bright Culture with no strings attached. I mean, if you think about it, when you are always curious about something, you hope that you can actually experience it before you make a commitment. Because ultimately, parents and students also want to see like how are we delivering the lessons, whether it's engaging and whether it help the child. And to me, it's very important that whatever class or whatever deliverables that we have help the problems that our students and parents are facing. Yeah.
Nice. And for the free trial class, do you have an online version or offline version, or do you have both?
Yeah, we actually have a hybrid version. That means we have both online and classroom. So you can actually opt for online if you find that our location is very far, or if you can come for classroom to experience the learning experience. Now, for online students, a lot of parents would therefore ask that how are you making sure that my child can actually, what's happening. So we actually check every single student's answers. We have also checked in with them how they are progressing. And we also look into whether they actually can answer with the correct answering technique. So we really provide a personalized learning approach by also ensuring that every single question and their answers are correct by having our experienced teachers to actually check through their answers. Yeah.
Okay. And is it really possible for students scoring C6 to F9 to jump to A1 and A2 in 3 to 6 months?
Yeah, so that's why Bright Culture exists. That's why the books exist. I wanted a fast and easier way to actually taste success because myself, I experienced the slow and the difficult way. I went through a lot of difficulties trying to break the code of how to study much easier. So that is why our teaching pedagogy was being developed. And hence, yes, if you work very closely with us and you follow through really what we ask y'all to do, it's not something very difficult. We actually developed the formula already. You just need to follow through. It's like you have a recipe, you just follow through the recipe and don't deviate from it. Not that you cannot have your own creativity, but thereafter, when you get used to the system and our structure, pretty much the students know how to get their creative juice out of it and how to remember things and what are the common questions that will come up. Yeah.
Very nice. Can you tell us more about your 3 to 5 grade jump guarantee that Bright Culture has?
Yeah, so our 3 to 5 grade jump guarantee is such that because we develop a system, we have a structure for learning, and hence students find it very easy to score. They find it very easy to get to where they want to go to through our books, through our teaching system, through our expertise from our teachers. Of course, our teachers also work very closely with the students. We seek to understand what kind of difficulties they face. To be honest, it's a holistic approach. A student may not just face difficulty in chemistry. It could be learning difficulties in all other subjects also. So that's when we really go deep down into understanding what caused that. And I'm very blessed to have teachers who are very passionate also about the non-academic aspect of students. So we go into like what causes the low motivation, what causes them to procrastinate, what are the actionable things that they can do to stop this low motivation and procrastination procrastination of not being able to do well. Yeah.
And what percentage of students after coming for your crash course, they continue with Bright Culture and they get a B3 and above?
I'm very thankful that through our system, our teaching system and the expertise of teachers, we actually did achieve 100% of our students getting B3 and above, but they really must follow through with us and develop and actually adopt the system that we have for their whole learning of chemistry.
Very nice. And do you have any train the teacher program that you conduct for fellow teachers?
Yeah, I actually have. We call it the academic teaching internship. The reason is because when I was young and I wanted to learn more about teaching, I hoped that I had a mentor, to teach me how to teach. I was very, very curious about all the different teachers who could be so firm in class, but yet have the respect from students. So I told myself I will be that kind of teacher. When I started to want to learn about teaching. So after that, yes, I was very thankful to meet a mentor. And after that, I told myself that I will actually pass this on and pass this baton of teaching on to the next teachers who are very passionate about teaching. The teachers at Bright Culture, I always tell them that there's only one criteria, that you have to be passionate about teaching. Because education, you really need to put in a lot of effort with the children. So as long as you're passionate, I will teach you how to be a good teacher and how to be the best teacher on earth. But of course, you need to be passionate about the work.
And how do you customize your teaching journey for each individual student?
So how do I customize that? I understand their problem. So I understand their needs. I understand their problem. It's not difficult for us to understand. Thereafter, I tell them which chapter actually you're not good at. Let's settle that first. Then slowly we progress from there. So that's how we develop our individual personalized learning experience for students.
And maybe what about yourself? Tell us about your struggles when you were studying and what did it lead to?
Okay, so my struggles when I was studying is that all my friends were actually progressing very well around me. They did not spend that same amount of time that I spent on studying. I actually sleep at 10 p.m., wake up at 2 a.m. to study. 6 a.m. I go to school. So of course, if I wake up at 2 a.m., that's when I feel hungry. So that's when I snack on biscuits. So that's how I also ballooned to 89 kg. And then eventually it's at the expense of my health. So that was the difficulty that I faced when I was studying. And that bring to what I am today, that I told myself I will not let anyone go through that same difficulty. And hence I developed the system of learning at Bright Culture.
And Bernice, I want to talk a little bit about how when you started off, when you said you were studying late into the night from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. and you were snacking on biscuits as well. How did you go from 89 kg to 53 kg?
So I struggled with a lot of self-identity. Then that's when I actually woke up at 4 a.m. to go to exercise, and it didn't work. I didn't lose any fats from it. So that's when during COVID-19, I actually get to know about a program, a weight loss program on Instagram. So that's when I decided to give it a try. As I gave it a try, because I was very desperate, I would do anything to get to a slimmer me. So I was desperate. So I gave it a try and I realized that what's very amazing is actually based on science. So in science, there's this thing called the Krebs cycle. So that's how fats are being lost. So I went to investigate, and using my scientific knowledge, I developed the whole WOW program, the whole system to actually help my clients to then lose weight. And of course, I helped myself to lose weight in the progress. The very interesting part of me was that science is actually the studying of science that got me to 89 kg, but it's also the studying of science that got me from 89 back to 53 kg. Because it makes use of scientific principles, like you need enzymes to actually remove the fats. You need water to actually help you to digest away your fats also. So a lot of programs emphasize a lot on not drinking water, but actually, to be honest, you need 3.5 liters of water per day.
And did you have to eat less and exercise more to lose such dramatic weight?
No. So the interesting about the program is I did not exercise. I did not exercise to lose. And after that, I actually eat more and more throughout the program. The thing to understand is that when you eat less, your body goes into a mode to protect yourself. They will think that one day you are not going to feed me food. So I better store all the fats that I can. So actually, if you eat less, you get fatter. So if you starve yourself, that's not the correct way to lose. Second thing, when you go into exercise, you need to make sure that your body knows that you are exercising. If not, they will also be scared that could you go into a state whereby you exercise too much and I don't have enough food. Yeah, so actually through the program, I did not exercise at all and I eat more and more. I went on to eat brownies also. And now I keep on snacking actually. And I hope I still look 53 lah.
Very nice. Of course you do. And how are you currently helping others to lose weight just like you did?
Yeah, so I explained to them the scientific principles of this program, making sure that they really understand. And then after that, once they understand, I tell them every single step that I actually crafted for them have a reason. I think it helps when you can understand what you are doing, why you are doing it, and then you will work together with myself as a coach to actually lose to where you want to get to. Yeah.
And what are the other side benefits of being on your WOW program?
Yeah, the other side benefits is all my clients need to change their wardrobe. So they always tell me that they go from XL, then after that they lose to L, then after that they lose to M, and then after that lose to S. So every single progress, they'll be like, I need to go to the store again to buy clothes. So that's the other side benefits. And of course, they have very good improved relationship with their partners also. Because back then, I guess, same thing for myself, there can be a situation whereby I get my husband to go with me to exercise at 4 a.m. It may not be something that he wants also. Yeah. And of course, when you are more confident of yourself, you are much, much happier. Yeah. And that affects your whole emotional state with the people around you also. So that's the side benefits that you can get from being on the WOW program. Yeah.
And how long does it take to see results in the WOW program?
So it actually take only 3 days to see results. And my clients actually see results very fast. And I'm very thankful that actually they see results and then after that they became who they want to be after they slim down.
Very nice. And how many people have you helped so far to lose weight?
So I've helped 52 people. Okay, 52 people. And what I'm very proud of is every single client that walked through my door, I will certainly be able to help them. So it's 100% success rate. So why I called myself back to the Education Innovator part is because I believe in delivering results. Cut the fluff, make sure that it's efficient enough, and then after that can deliver results to people who are seeking solutions for their problems. Yeah.
And my last question for you, Bernice, is what is your mission and vision that you have for yourself?
Yeah, so I hope that I can inspire the next generation. A few different people that I hope to inspire. One is students, of course, through my teaching. Second, teachers who really hope to learn how to teach. And of course, transform the life of others. So transform the life of others through teaching, through my students, through my teachers, and through my WOW program. To be honest, it's very fulfilling to know that you have lived a life that could transform the lives of others. Then after that, they become your people and you build such a long-term relationship with them. Yeah, I want to know that in future, I leave this world, leaving the world a better place for others. And my goal is actually to impact 1 million people. Now, to impact 1 million people, to transform the lives of 1 million people, I cannot do it by myself. I need teachers who are passionate about teaching. I need people who believe in what I'm doing. Yeah, so that's when I hope that then eventually they can go on and impact others in their own way. Yeah.
Makes sense. That's very nice. And I love the 1 million mission as well, because I'm not sure if you know for Better Than Normal, if you see GrowCast, which says learning from Better Than Normal mentors, right? So the mission of Better Than Normal is to inspire 50 million people by 2050 to become better than normal. And I do feel with the work that you are doing both at Bright Culture and with the WOW program as well, I'm sure you'll hit the 1 million goal sooner rather than later.
So I'll become your 1 out of 50 million. That's
Correct.
Good. That's nice to know.
Of course. I mean, we are all in this journey together. And I think today was a wonderful episode with Bernice. She's the founder of Bright Culture and also known as the Education Innovator. Bernice, any last words that you have for our audience or anything that I should have asked you but didn't ask you?
I would just want to really encourage everyone to spread love and kindness in this world. I think that life is already very tough. Life is already very tough. So let's work towards spreading kindness and love and joy in this world. And I believe a lot in understanding other people's dreams and goals. Yeah. So for everything that we do, if someone, for example, you get irritated with people, ask yourself, have you seek to understand the person's dreams and goals, and are you guiding them? Yeah, so I think that brings yourself love and kindness to yourself also. Yeah, so that's the last words I have for everyone.
Very nicely said. And that was Bernice at episode 52 of the GrowCast Show. And we will see you real soon for the next few episodes as well. And thank you so much, Bernice, for being over here. And that was episode 52. See you all real soon. Bye-bye.